I'd like to officially request a trade to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
This just happened. After weeks of silence, Connor McDavid finally spoke. His words were clear. The rumors didn't stop. Toronto's name came up again and again. McDavid didn't say no. He didn't say yes. He just said what people didn't expect. Now fans, teams, and reporters are talking louder than ever. This all happened just days after the Oilers lost in the Stanley Cup Final. Connor McDavid is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He's also one of the best hockey players in the world. Right now, he's in the news because of something he said and something he didn't say. It started after the Oilers lost in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final. They played hard but lost in 6 games to the Florida Panthers. They didn't win on their home ice. And once again, Canada did not get a Stanley Cup winner. That makes 32 years in a row. A few days after the loss, McDavid talked to the media. Reporters asked about his future. His contract ends in 2026. He's allowed to sign a new one now, but when asked, he said this: "It's only been a couple of days since the season ended. I'm going to take some time to regroup. I'm going to talk to my agent a little bit and family, but there's no rush on anything like that." There's no rush? That surprised people. Why? Because McDavid can sign a big new deal right now. Other players do that. They don't wait. But McDavid isn't signing yet, and he didn't say he would stay in Edmonton. Fans in Toronto noticed. So did NHL teams. So did the media. Some people now think he might leave Edmonton in 2026 and sign with the Maple Leafs. The talk got so loud that NHL insiders had to explain what was going on. Chris Johnston, a reporter, said there have been no talks yet between McDavid and the Oilers about a new contract. None. That's a fact. Teams don't wait with stars like McDavid, but Edmonton is waiting. And Toronto is listening. Other reporters said the Maple Leafs are one of the few teams that could pay McDavid. His next contract might be worth $85 million. That's about $17 million a year. Toronto has the money. They made moves to free up space. They even traded Mitch Marner to the Vegas Golden Knights. That trade saved money, and that money could go toward McDavid. Austin Matthews is already in Toronto. If McDavid joined him, it would be one of the biggest duos in hockey history. But it's not just about money, it's about timing. McDavid turns 29 in January 2026. He also won the Conn Smythe Trophy this year, even though his team lost. That means he was the best player in the playoffs. Only a few players have ever done that while losing the finals. So, what does that mean? It means McDavid is playing as well as ever, and he still doesn't have a Stanley Cup. Now people are asking, will he leave Edmonton to try to win somewhere else? Some say yes, others say no. Gene Principe is a longtime Oilers announcer. He said McDavid loves Edmonton. He said McDavid is probably staying, but even he said that could change. Another reporter, Bruce Arthur, said McDavid has many reasons to stay. Edmonton is a strong team. They have young stars like Evan Bouchard. They made the finals. They might do it again. But still, McDavid hasn't signed. He said winning is what matters most. If I feel there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem. That's what he said. If McDavid doesn't sign a deal before 2026, he will become a free agent on July 1st of that year. He can go anywhere. Toronto has space. Toronto has Matthews. Toronto has roots. The Oilers, meanwhile, have said nothing. They haven't started talks with McDavid. Not yet. No official meetings, no updates. And McDavid's agent hasn't made a statement either. That silence means something. That's why people are saying McDavid broke his silence and shocked everyone, because he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. He just opened the door and let the buzz begin.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple of days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup. Talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes, but there's no rush.
Connor McDavid told reporters he wasn't in a rush to talk contracts. Now, weeks later, there's been nothing. With the team in off-season limbo and big names signing elsewhere, McDavid's silence now speaks louder than ever. The Oilers are waiting. The fans are waiting. But the captain still isn't saying anything. McDavid's silence is now a problem. And this silence could change everything for the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He is one of the best hockey players in the world. McDavid has played his whole NHL career in Edmonton since the team picked him first in the 2015 NHL Draft. His current contract is an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That deal ends in July 2026. Right now, McDavid still has 1 year left on that contract. He will be allowed to sign a new deal starting on July 1st, 2025. If he does not sign, he becomes a free agent in 2026. That means any team in the league could offer him a deal. But so far, McDavid has not said if he will stay or leave. After the Oilers lost in the 2025 Stanley Cup Final to the Florida Panthers, reporters asked McDavid about his future. He answered, "It's only been a couple days since the season ended. I'm going to take some time to regroup, but there's no rush on anything like that." He also said, "If I feel there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem." That was the last time he spoke about it. McDavid's numbers this season were very strong. He had 74 assists in the regular season. He scored 33 points in 22 playoff games. He had 7 goals and 26 assists. His teammate Leon Draisaitl had the same playoff point total, but McDavid still hasn't said what he will do about his contract. The fans don't know. The team doesn't know. Other NHL teams are now watching closely. Stan Bowman is the general manager of the Oilers. He said, "He's the best player in the league, most important player in the league. He's our captain. He's our leader." Bowman said the team's #1 priority is to keep McDavid. He also said the contract talks will happen when McDavid is ready. But NHL free agency is already moving fast. Teams are signing players. The Oilers have to make choices about who to keep, who to sign, and how to build next season's team. But without knowing what McDavid wants, the team can't plan fully. That has caused a problem. If McDavid leaves, it could be a very big problem. The Oilers have made the playoffs 6 years in a row. They made the Stanley Cup Final 2 years in a row, but they lost both times. Some sports writers are saying McDavid might not want to wait much longer. If he doesn't think the team can win soon, he could decide to go somewhere else. Leon Draisaitl, McDavid's teammate and top scorer, signed a new deal last year. That deal is for 8 years and $112 million. If McDavid stays, he will likely make even more. Some reports say McDavid could become the highest paid player in the league. But that would mean the team has less money to spend on other players. If McDavid stays quiet much longer, the Oilers could be forced to trade him. They won't want to lose him in free agency for nothing. That's why some experts are saying the team needs to know soon. One article said McDavid's silence is wrecking the Oilers' free agency plans. Jeff Jackson is the CEO of the Oilers. He also used to be McDavid's agent. He said the next season will help decide everything. The team will wait, but not forever. Other teams, like the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers, are already being mentioned as possible new homes for McDavid. Right now, every NHL team is watching. If McDavid doesn't say anything by the start of the season, the rumors will grow. Teams will begin making offers. Fans will keep asking questions. Even McDavid's teammates might start to worry. The Oilers had a record of 48 wins, 29 losses, and 5 overtime losses this past season. That was good enough to make the playoffs. They went all the way to the finals, but lost to the Panthers in 6 games. McDavid led the team in assists and was one of the top playoff performers in the entire league. But now all of that is in the past. The team needs to know what comes next. Free agents are being signed by other teams. The Oilers can't wait forever. And yet, McDavid says nothing. The pressure is building.
You know, I know people are going to look at that July 1 day and be looking to see if there's anything done. But for me, I'm just not in a rush that way.
Something big is coming to hockey, and it's not just about one team. On July 1st, Connor McDavid will make a move no one saw coming. That move could change how the best players in the league get paid. It will break a rule that stars have followed for years. What happens next may change the NHL forever.
You know, winning would be it's the most important thing. If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem.
Connor McDavid is one of the best hockey players in the world. He plays for the Edmonton Oilers. He has scored more than 100 points in many seasons. He has won the MVP award 3 times. He led the Oilers to the Stanley Cup Final 2 years in a row. But on July 1st, the big story won't be about goals or assists. It will be about money, contracts, and something much bigger. McDavid signed his last contract in 2017. It was an 8-year deal worth $100 million. That means he has been making $12.5 million every year. This deal ends in 2026. But NHL rules say a player can start talking about a new contract 2 years before the old one ends. So on July 1st, 2025, McDavid will be allowed to sign a new deal. Most top players sign the longest deal possible. That's usually 8 years. It gives them more safety and helps the team plan for a long time. But this time, McDavid is expected to do something very different. Reporters say that McDavid might not want a long contract. Instead, he could ask for a shorter one, maybe just 4 years. Some people even say he could sign for only 2 or 3 years. This is something very few superstars have done. Why would McDavid want a short deal? The answer is the salary cap. The salary cap is the most money a team can spend on its players. This year, the cap is $88 million. Next year, it will go up to $97 million. In a few years, it might go even higher. If McDavid signs a short contract now, he can sign another one later when the cap is much bigger. That means he could make even more money. Other players have done this. Austin Matthews signed a 5-year deal in 2019. In 2023, he signed a 4-year deal. Leon Draisaitl just signed an 8-year deal for $112 million. But McDavid might want something shorter than all of them. Connor McDavid hasn't said much about his plans, but he did say this to NHL.com after the season. "I'm not in a rush to make any decision." He also said, "I need to do what's best for me and my family." These are clues that he is thinking very carefully. The Edmonton Oilers also know what's happening. Their new general manager, Stan Bowman, says he wants to keep McDavid. But McDavid said something important. He said, "If I feel that there's a good window to win here over and over again, then signing is no problem." That means he wants to be sure the team can keep winning. If McDavid signs a short deal, he will be a free agent again in 2029 or 2030. That means other teams will have a chance to try and sign him. Teams like the Maple Leafs, Panthers, Kings, and Flyers might all be watching. If McDavid becomes a free agent, they might try to get him. Experts are saying this could change how NHL contracts work. Sports writer Pierre LeBrun said, "There's a good chance McDavid will sign a shorter deal instead of an 8-year max one." ESPN's Greg Wyshynski said, "It's not just about money, it's about power and timing." Connor McDavid had another amazing season. In 2024 to 2025, he scored 100 points in 67 games. In the playoffs, he scored 33 points in 22 games. That was the most in the league. He was named playoff MVP, even though the Oilers lost in the finals. Because of his great numbers, McDavid is more valuable than ever. If he signs a short deal, he can sign again in a few years for a lot more money. Some people believe he could make over $18 million per year in his next deal. That would be the highest ever in NHL history. This kind of deal gives the player more power. Usually teams like long contracts, but short deals let players choose more often. They can pick better teams or wait for the salary cap to go up. That's why this is such a big deal. Right now, McDavid has a $12.5 million cap hit. If he signs again soon, that number could go way up. If he waits, it might go even higher. And that's why this decision is so important. It affects not just him, but the whole NHL. Some reporters say McDavid may take a deal with only 2 or 3 years. That would give him the chance to test the market again very soon. And if he wins a Stanley Cup in that time, he could leave Edmonton as a free agent and pick any team he wants. Connor McDavid's next contract could change everything. It might change how young players sign their first big deals. It might change how teams plan their future. And it might change how much money top stars can make. This is why so many people are watching July 1st. That's the day McDavid is allowed to start contract talks. If he signs a short deal, other players may copy him. That could mean big changes in the NHL's old contract system. And if McDavid does leave Edmonton in a few years, it could be one of the biggest moves in NHL history. Teams will spend a lot of money to get a player like him. But right now, the Oilers still have a chance to keep him. Whether he signs for 2 years, 4 years, or 8 years, McDavid is changing the game, not just on the ice, but at the contract table. He didn't need to say a lot. Just by thinking about a short deal, he has already made waves across the NHL. On July 1st, the hockey world will be watching because what Connor McDavid chooses to do next might change everything.
Corey Perry is going to is going to the LA Kings. He's going to be signing there. That's interesting for a lot of reasons. His time with Anaheim, his time with Edmonton. He's going back to play for a team that he annoyed for years and years. And also Dan Vladar, late of the Calgary Flames, is going to Philadelphia. That's a 2-year, $3.35 million AAV contract.
Just one day changed everything for the Los Angeles Kings. A 40-year-old NHL legend signed a new deal that shocked fans, coaches, and even other teams. He's played over 1,300 games and scored nearly 1,000 points. He's been to the Stanley Cup Final 5 times. Now he's on a new team, and this move could change the Kings forever.
The Kings are doing good things. It's just, again, have you done enough to beat the Oilers?
On July 1st, 2025, the Los Angeles Kings signed Corey Perry. He is a professional hockey player. He is 40 years old. He signed a 1-year contract for $3.5 million. Corey Perry is one of the most well-known players in hockey. He has played 1,392 NHL games. He scored 448 goals and got 487 assists. That is a total of 935 points. He is one of the top active players in the NHL today. He started his NHL career with the Anaheim Ducks. He won the Stanley Cup in 2007 with that team. He was also picked for the NHL All-Star Game 4 times, in 2008, 2011, 2012, and 2016. Last season, Perry played for the Edmonton Oilers. In the regular season, he played 81 games. He scored 19 goals and had 11 assists, making 30 points. In the playoffs, he played 22 games and scored 14 points. The Oilers made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. That was the 5th time in 6 years that Perry made it to the final. That is something very few players have done. He also made NHL history. He became the first player ever to score goals in the playoffs at age 39. Before that, the oldest player to do that was Jean Béliveau. Perry also became the first player to go to the Stanley Cup Final with 5 different teams, but he also lost in 4 of those finals with 4 different teams. That is also an NHL record. The Kings said they signed Perry to help their team in the playoffs. They wanted someone who has been in big games and knows how to win. Perry has that kind of experience. The Kings didn't just sign Perry, they also signed 4 other players to help their team. They signed Joel Armia, who has played 586 games and scored 207 points. He got a 2-year contract worth $5 million. They signed Brian Dumoulin, a defenseman who has won the Stanley Cup 2 times. He got a 3-year contract for $12 million. They signed Cody Ceci, another defenseman. He got a 4-year deal worth $18 million. Last season, he played 85 games and got 24 points. They signed Anton Forsberg, a goalie. He signed a 2-year deal for $4.5 million. Last season, his save percentage was .904. All 5 players signed contracts on the same day. The Kings' new general manager, Ken Holland, helped make these moves. He is new to the team. Before this, he was the GM for the Detroit Red Wings and Edmonton Oilers. These signings show that the Kings want to win now. They are building a team with players who have played in big games before. Corey Perry talked about joining the Kings. He said, "It's who I am. One day, they're going to have to cut the skates off me." He also said, "I'm just going to let my play speak and go from there. I've got to get them on my side and go from there." This means he still wants to play hard. He knows he is older than most players, but he wants to help his team win. In the past 2 years, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Kings in the playoffs. Perry played for the Oilers during those games. Now he's going to be wearing the Kings jersey. That will be something fans will remember. Perry has played in 237 playoff games. Only 2 players in NHL history have played more playoff games, Chris Chelios and Nicholas Lidstrom. In those games, Perry scored 64 goals and made 77 assists. That gives him 141 playoff points. The Kings are also working on their defense and goaltending. They already have top defensemen like Drew Doughty, Mikey Anderson, Brant Clark, and Joel Edmondson. Now, they are adding Dumoulin and Ceci to help. Their goalies now are Darcy Kuemper and new player Anton Forsberg. These new players will give the Kings more strength and skill. They also lost a big player this offseason. Vladislav Gavrikov, a defenseman, left the team. He signed with the New York Rangers. His deal was for 7 years and $49 million. The Kings hope that their new players will fill the gaps and help them win more games. Corey Perry brings more than goals. He brings leadership. He brings playoff knowledge. He has played in many Stanley Cup Finals and knows what it takes to win. He was picked in the first round of the 2003 NHL Draft. He played for 14 seasons with the Anaheim Ducks. After that, he played for other teams like the Dallas Stars, Montreal Canadiens, Tampa Bay Lightning, Chicago Blackhawks, and Edmonton Oilers. Now he joins the Kings for a new chapter in his long NHL career. The team is trying to go further in the playoffs than they have in recent years. The last 2 seasons, they were knocked out early. Now, with Perry and other new players, they want to go much further. Corey Perry has shown that he can still play at a high level, even at age 40. He scored 19 goals last season, which is more than some younger players on the team. The Kings now have more balance. They have young players. They have stars. Now, they also have veteran leaders like Corey Perry. Their coach and GM are building a team that they hope can go deep into the playoffs. Perry's signing was not just about skill, it was about winning. The Kings are taking big steps. With the NHL season ahead, fans will be watching to see what Corey Perry and the team do next. His deal may only be for 1 year, but what happens next could make NHL history.